wanted to ask you, I know other people ask about the slow starts. We've done that. But in terms of, I've not seen many teams score 31 points in the second half, have to score every nearly possession and do it. You only get 17 minutes or so for halftime. So take us inside. What is the conversation? How much is Tom a part of that? What did you do differently? It looked like you mass protected a little bit. I mean, just how are you able to make those adjustments?
Well, the adjustments was made in the protection. It was just really 2 full bars. It wasn't that, it was something that we was expecting that. It was something that we just didn't execute well. So the protection was never really the issue. It was just doing a better job of getting our guys in position to make plays. We felt as though we just went into halftime and said we'll score every time we get the ball. And we knew that our defense will begin to slow those guys down. So we just came up with the point, we'll score every time we get it and see if it's enough in the last quarter to see if we can find a way to win it. That was our mindset all the way through and through. I talk about this team's fight. The fight of this team is something else. It's unique, man. This team, when it's back against the wall, they tend to always find a way to show up and do the things that give you opportunities to win football games. So that's what we had to do. That's the position we was in. And we found a way to pull it out there in the end.
I know you don't want to be in these positions much, and running the football seems to be something that you guys need to continue to get better at. Not much in the first half. So if you had to pick an area where, hey, we got to do this something better here, is it run the ball?
Oh, yeah. I think obviously you want to run the ball better at a more efficient, really. You want to be more efficient. Not saying that we wasn't efficient in the ball game, but sometimes the way football games go, you don't really have a lot of attempts. Yeah. Sometimes football games happen in ways that you just don't have enough attempts. And it was one of those, we had to do what we had to do to win the game. Our ultimate goal, I tell you guys all the time, is trying to find a way to do what we can to win the football game. And winning that game didn't pertain because the way it went of having 30, 40 carries within that game. We had to do what we had to do to find a way to win it. And them guys did a good job of stepping up, making the plays we need to do to make it on both sides of the ball.
Thanks, Byron.
Thank you.
We'll go to June Lane.
Hey, Coach. First of all, Merry Christmas.
Same to you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. I know that as Rick already said, nobody wants to be down 17-0, but if you're going to be down, if you're going to have your back against the wall, I think you have the right guy to do it with Tom. I'm just wondering from your vantage point, and you've seen other quarterbacks of close to his caliber go to work in those types of situations. What is it like for you as you're watching him? I mean, is he saying much to you? Does anything really need to be said? Can you just take us through what it's like being in that position and then seeing him just come roaring back in the second half?
Well, ultimately, we're always communicating because we kind of have an idea of what team's going to try to do against us. So it was just getting the right stuff called and getting the right players to football. And it wasn't just Tom. When you have Mike, you have Chris, you have Grunt. When you have these guys, you're able to make plays uniquely that I just think we can do things uniquely that just probably us and a very few teams could do. We have really good football players outside that's when they're in position and you give them opportunities, they consistently make plays. So it's good to have guys like this. It was really good to see the fight and the focus, the determination of we knew those guys felt as though they'll score every time we got the ball, and you saw it in the way they operated. You saw it in the look in their eye. You saw it in the way they were communicating to each other. It was a different energy level. We understood what we needed to do, and the guys did a good job of getting the job done.
I know it's easier said than done, and I think if we had an answer to this question, we wouldn't be having the discussion week after week. But how do you capture that level of confidence and use it in the first half of games? Because, I mean, like Cam Brake, for instance, he said to us, we never felt like we were out of it. Chris Godwin echoed that. How do you take that and couple it with execution so that you can have the kind of first half that you did in the second half of these games?
For one, this is a very confident team. These guys stay confident in every situation. The game of football try to eat at that sometime, but this is a confident group of guys. And it wasn't a confidence thing. It was a more matter of fact, hey, man, let's go and get the job done. And this group together has had a few opportunities throughout this year to respond in that way. This wasn't the only game we've been in this position. So this group understands we're trying to win football games. They understand the game is 4 quarters. As much as we want to start off fast, that didn't happen again this week, but we did what we had to do to win the football game, which is ultimately the ultimate goal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go to Greg Allman.
Hey, Byron, in terms of establishing the run, I think probably a good chance you're not going to have Ronald on Saturday. So just want to ask you, having the same combination of backs for the second week in a row, first of all, just how you felt like Fournette did against the Falcons and how much you can tailor this run game around the group of guys you'll have on Saturday in Detroit.
Well, I think our backs did well. I think it's some things we got to correct as a group, but I think they did well. I think that just the way the game went, it wasn't a lot of opportunities from an attempt standpoint. Each running back, every running back need attempts to get in the groove. Those guys, it's a different position. The more you can give them the ball, the more they make the right cuts, the more they see it better, the more they get into the right position. I think it helps the offensive line when you have more attempts. You have more attempts, gives them more opportunities to wear on guys, to take out body blows, body shots on an opposing defense. So it's just the way that the game went. We didn't have a lot of opportunities for attempts, but I'm okay with the way how we played from the position. Obviously, when you don't have Rowe, his capabilities and his abilities, you always would like to have that on the field, but I believe the guys did okay. They played well. Things we must get better at, they know that, and we'll get better at it. We'll keep working on it this week, trying to become a better football team as a whole.
Thanks, Byron.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go over to Scott Reynolds.
Hey, Byron, last year you were down your top 3 wide receivers due to hamstring injuries with Evans, Godwin, and Miller out. Aside from Rojo's absence this week, could you speak to how the overall good health helps you in your play calling by pretty much having all of your weapons at your disposal compared to last year?
Yeah, it's kind of been like this kind of all year, to be honest with you. We're missing a guy here and there. You're missing 2 guys here. We haven't really had a lot of practice time together. It's as crazy as that sounds, we're in this late in the season. And here we go again. We're down Rowe. But good thing is we got Lenny, we got Shade, we got Sneak. We got guys who we feel as though that filled in for us early in the year at different positions. We feel as though we got guys at the running back position that we can fill in and play well. So from a play caller standpoint, it's all about who I have available, really. You know, you call, like I tell you, I call plays according to who I have available, putting guys in position to make plays according to their skill set. So it's not that it's too difficult. Some weeks it was because we're going into Sundays not having an idea if we're going to have certain guys or not. But at least right now we know that, you know, we knew last week that Rowe was going to be out. So we had a week, an opportunity to prepare to get these guys ready to roll.
And Byron, this is almost your second full year as a play caller, and you got BA right next to you. You've learned from him certainly during your time with him as a quarterback and also as the offensive coordinator. Where have you made the biggest strides as a play caller? Is it during the week with preparing your guys in the game plan? Is it making adjustments at halftime? Where do you think your growth has happened from year 1 to year 2?
I can't really pinpoint something single-handedly, but I just feel as though I mean, like you say, this is my second year only doing it, right? So this is my second year doing it. So the more experience you get in it, the more situations you can be in, you know, I think the better for any young player, young coach, anybody in that sort of situation. But I'm going to be honest with you, I don't feel as though I feel myself getting better, but I can't pinpoint exactly what it is week in and week out. I'm just trying to get these guys in position to make plays. I don't really see it and think of it that way. I got good football players around me that I got to do a good job of getting the ball, and that's always my focus. I'm not really focusing on myself. I'm more focusing on the guys we got on the field, making sure I'm constantly putting them in position to make plays and be successful. That's really how I see that. Can I consistently put guys in position to make plays to help us win football games?
Byron, thank you, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Same to you, brother.
We got time for a few more. We'll go to Joey Knight.
Byron, we obviously don't have the opportunity to watch Tom behind the scenes prepare, work out, care for his body. Can you just tell us how intense that is, what it looks like to see Tom Brady prepare week in and week out?
I don't really see him eat. I don't really see him eat. I'm quite sure he's eating healthy, but from a football standpoint, he does everything that's required. He does everything at a high level. Obviously, that's how you become the player that he's become, right? His focus on the detail, the little things gets him through. We're always in communication because I'm always trying to learn. You're always trying to learn the player as best as you can. And I always ask him why he do this, why he do that. But, I mean, he's preparing himself to be a quarterback in this league, and he's been doing it well at a high level for a long time. So we talk about some things. I don't really watch what he eat and things like that. I don't know how many massages he's getting and all that, but I kind of worry about the football stuff with the awareness that he will take care of all the other things that he's learned how to do throughout his 20-some years in this league.
Do you think the NFL will ever see a guy at that age performing at that level again?
I don't know. I'm just trying to keep him playing at a high level, to be honest with you. We were talking today. I think this is his 300th game played or something. That's crazy. 300 games, and I don't even know if that's playoff games or not. That's an amazing amount of games. That's an amazing amount of repetitions. And that's just a unique thing, man, to have that. That blew my mind hearing that today. Something you never really think about. But for a guy to play 300 games, obviously he got to be really good at what he's doing, and he got to be really durable, especially when you're playing the game of football. That's kind of unheard of.
Appreciate it, Byron.
Thank you.
We're going to close out with one question from Rick.
Byron, I know the object is to win the game. You've won 9. You got a chance to win 10. That hasn't happened here in a long time. And yet, when you go in out there week after week, like BA says, I mean, you can't – against the better teams, you can't start games like this. When you get into the postseason, you can't always say we got to score in every possession at halftime and think that's going to work. So it's got to get you a little bit that, like, for this many weeks that you guys just don't get off to a good start, right? I mean, that's a thing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's something that we're talking about all the time, right? But at the same time, I get it. I get the perspective of everything. I get it. Trust me. And we're not trying to have slow starts. Trust me, we're doing everything possible not to have slow starts. But we're not going to assume that if we're in a game that we're going to start slow.
Right.
We're not assuming. We can't tell what's going to happen in the future. All we can do is prepare each day to try to fix that issue. And I believe in these guys. I believe in the coaching staff that we'll get that fixed. When will it happen? Hopefully it happens when we need it to happen. Hopefully it happens when we need it to happen. All we can do is work on it, try to continue getting better at it. Something that you work on, but the ultimate goal is to win the football game. That's how we view it. Obviously, we want to start off as fast as possible, but we want to win the football game. Because if you start off fast and don't win, I don't think that matters, does it? When you really sit there and think about it as a whole, we're trying to do what we can to win the games.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, that's all for today. Thanks, Byron.
All right, guys, have a good one. Happy holidays.